We already know that carbon dioxide is the principal gas which trees and green plants require in order to survive. Trees and green plants take up carbon dioxide directly from the atmosphere. So carbon dioxide is present naturally in the atmosphere, or we can synthesize it in the laboratory. Let us see how. Firstly, by burning of carbon or carbon compounds, we can produce carbon dioxide. So we can represent this in the following equation. See, carbon plus oxygen will give one molecule of carbon dioxide upon burning. Here we have methane, which is a carbon compound. When we burn methane in the presence of oxygen, we get carbon dioxide and 2 molecules of water. So, methane consists of carbon and hydrogen. Therefore, when we burn methane, we get 1 molecule of carbon dioxide and 2 molecules of water. So, it's important to remember that whenever we burn hydrocarbons or compounds containing carbon and hydrogen, we get 2 things, carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so here we have ethane, which is again another hydrocarbon. So tell me, what if we heat ethane in the presence of oxygen? What will be the products formed? Well, you know, all hydrocarbons upon heating produces carbon dioxide and water. So see, ethane in the presence of oxygen burns to give carbon dioxide and water. Here you see we have balanced the equation so that the number of reactants and the number of products are same on both the sides. Another class of carbon compounds known as metal carbonates also upon heating gives the corresponding metal oxide and carbon dioxide. So here we have the metal component as copper and the carbonate radical is CO3 2-. This is the carbonate radical. So whenever you heat copper carbonate, you get the metal oxide, which is copper oxide, and carbon dioxide. Similarly, when you heat metal bicarbonates, you also get the metal carbonate, water, and carbon dioxide. Here you see the difference between a carbonate and a bicarbonate. A bicarbonate contains the radical HCO3-. So here we have the metal component as sodium or Na and the bicarbonate component as HCO3-. So when you heat sodium carbonate, bicarbonate, you get the corresponding metal carbonate, that is sodium carbonate, you get water, and you get a molecule of carbon dioxide. So can you tell me, when you heat zinc carbonate, what are the products formed? Well, in zinc carbonate, we have the metal component as zinc and we have CO3 2-, which is the carbonate component. So, upon heating, you get the corresponding metal oxide, which is zinc oxide, and a molecule of carbon dioxide. Okay, so now tell me, what if we heat potassium bicarbonate? What will be the products formed? Well, you know, all bicarbonates upon heating produces the corresponding metal carbonate, which in this case would be potassium carbonate. Potassium carbonate. Also, water is released and carbon dioxide is evolved in this reaction. Not only upon heating or burning of carbon compounds, you can also react dilute acids with carbon compounds like metal carbonates and metal bicarbonates to produce carbon dioxide. So here, if you treat metal carbonate with acid, you get the corresponding metal salt, water and carbon dioxide. Let's see an example. Here we have calcium carbonate reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid. So see, we have calcium as the metal component, CO3 as the carbonate component, and we have HCl, dilute HCl as the acid. So what will be the salt formed? We get calcium reacting with chloride to form the salt calcium chloride. Along with that, water and carbon dioxide will be evolved. So can you tell me what will happen if you treat zinc carbonate with dilute hydrochloric acid? Well, here we have zinc as metal component and HCl as the acid. So we'll get zinc chloride. As the salt, we'll get water and we'll get carbon dioxide since we are using zinc carbonate which contains the carbonate component here. Just like carbonates, if we treat metal bicarbonates with dilute acids, we also get the corresponding metal salt, water and carbon dioxide. Let's see an example. Here you have sodium bicarbonate reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid. So obviously the salt form would be sodium reacting with chloride to form sodium chloride. Since we have the bicarbonate component, we'll get water and carbon dioxide. Just like dilute hydrochloric acid, we have another weak acid which is known as acetic acid. So if we treat acetic acid with sodium bicarbonate, we get the corresponding metal salt, which in this case would be sodium acetate, CH3COONA, sodium acetate. We'll get water and we'll get carbon dioxide. So can you tell me, if we take potassium bicarbonate and treat it with dilute hydrochloric acid, what will be the products formed? Well, we can understand that the salt here would be potassium chloride. We'll get water and we'll get carbon dioxide. See, potassium chloride as the salt, water and carbon dioxide. So we have seen a number of ways to prepare carbon dioxide from carbon and carbon compounds. So to summarize, we can either burn carbon or its compound in the presence of oxygen to give us carbon dioxide, or carbon dioxide in water if you heat hydrocarbons like methane or ethane. Secondly, we can heat metal carbonates and metal bicarbonates, like here potassium carbonate and potassium bicarbonate. We have seen the difference between a carbonate and a bicarbonate also. So on heating you get the corresponding either metal oxide, or if a bicarbonate, then a metal carbonate is evolved along with water and carbon dioxide. Thirdly, if you treat metal carbonates and bicarbonates with dilute acid, you will get the corresponding metal salt, water and carbon dioxide. We have also seen that, like dilute hydrochloric acid, another acid known as acetic acid will also react with bicarbonates in the same way to produce salt, water and carbon dioxide.